Obviously, a disappointing day. A lot of credit to Michigan. Obviously, they're a tremendous football team. Really couldn't stop them today. Methodical, converting third downs in the run game, some fourth downs early, some big plays. The early turnover did not help. Offensively, obviously had the drive, got down there, had the 4th and 1 early to make it 14-7. We thought didn't have that work out for us. Went down first drive of the second half. Did not get points there, and then wasn't for that late touchdown. So I thought they're an excellent football team. Played really well. We obviously weren't good enough today, so we have a lot of work to do. With that, I'll take your questions.
Did you envision? I mean, this is the way I saw it. Getting pushed around on defense early like that.
I hate to use the term pushed around just because I want to, that's a big term for me as the coach to say. I'd have to see it. Does that make sense? I will say I heard a lot of today, Steve, a lot of like, this guy's supposed to do, we haven't had a lot of mistakes. We had a lot of like, hey, this guy's supposed to slant and spill it, and he's up the field, or this guy's, so certainly they controlled the line of scrimmage. I would not want to end any way. But I felt like there were a lot of plays that hit today that were, guy's supposed to spill the ball. He doesn't. The ball rips up inside for 6 for 8. I did not see us not being able to control the line of scrimmage to that level. I thought it would be more of an even game in the run game. But when I say push, I have to be careful about being emotional in this moment, right? I have to go back and watch the tape because my history with these things has been you hate these kind of losses. They all count the same, but they hurt. When you have that type of a loss, to go back and watch the tape and make sure I deal in truth and see what I see. See what exactly there. I was disappointed. I thought their quarterback made some excellent throws in man coverage. We were all over the guys and they made plays. I don't think we had enough pass rush at times. So there was a lot of things today defensively that just didn't go our way. Starting with Deshaun getting hurt on the first play, and guys having to, Tommy having to go over and play full time. So a lot of things happened that we have to get corrected. But we got to see. The good news is we got to see probably the best run game, and we got to see what exactly it looked like, and people will probably copy a lot of that. So Tony and his guys have a lot of work to do to correct those things.
Coach, what about the 4th and 1, going under center opposed to going in the shotgun for it?
Yeah, no one's converted really against them in 4th and 1. So we ran quarterback sneak from the gun. I think Heinrich just maybe panicked. I thought we knocked him off the ball. If he just ran his feet, I think he was going to get it. I think he tried to jump a little bit, and that prevented him. That's a situation on 4th down where he could reach the ball too. So they're excellent. They stopped Rutgers last week, 4th and 1, 4th and 2. They're excellent short yardage defense. I mean, there's a reason why they're put together the way they are. Thought we had a good play. Thought we knocked it back. I thought this was a real growing day for Heinrich. I'll just say that. I think even the 1 3rd down, he called the wrong play. We had a false start. We had a shift, and you guys have seen me be very stoic when you guys ask me about him, and it happens to a lot of quarterbacks. You go out there, the first time you go out there to play, you're just playing and you're having fun. At the end of the Colorado game, you come in against Northern Illinois, you're just having fun playing. All of a sudden, now people all start talking about you, and you start trying to do a lot. Next thing you know, you're trying to be Tom Brady, trying to be the quarterback. I see this, I see that, and I think we just coached them through that game of like, hey, just go out there and play. Like, be Heinrich, be the guy who's out there running around playing, having fun. So I was happy to see him play throughout the game, but I thought that was an instance maybe where he could have got it. But I'll look at the tape. Maybe it was a bad call. We'll have to go back and take a look.
They came in with a lot of determination. Maybe they, for whatever reason, you think you matched their intensity?
I think they're a really good team. I think I don't want to sit here right now and say that our guys didn't want to play hard. I don't think that. I think that would belie who they are and the team that they are. They're the number 2 team in the nation. Played in a lot of ball games. They didn't play great last week. I'm sure. I kind of alluded to it the other day with you guys. Like, we were the number 1 rush offense and rush defense in the Big Ten going into here. He was going to come out and try to run for 300 yards against us to send a message. Like, you don't stay the big dog in the Big Ten without sending those types of messages. So, I don't know that it was an intensity. I don't know. I still think our guys are trying to figure out if they're good enough to play, sometimes to play these teams. I didn't feel us necessarily, Steve, cutting loose and ripping and, going, attacking them. And that's kind of where we have to get to be quite honest with you. I address the older guys after the game. I address the younger guys after the game because the younger guys will play these guys again. There's only one way to play these types of games and win these types of games, and that's to attack. But I don't want to belie who they are. They're really good.
How'd you feel just on the sideline with the way that your guys reacted as the first half went on? Because you haven't been through a first half like that where it got out of hand, or close to out of hand. What did you think about their reaction emotionally, physically?
I can't really say until I got to the locker room. We got to the locker room. I certainly challenged them. I challenged them in that everything happens for a reason, and so down 28-0, maybe you come back and win, and it's a storied game no one ever talks about again. Maybe you lose 40, whatever we lost to, 45-7, and you find out a lot about the guys playing for you. You find out a lot about maybe there's some things that we can do. Like we found out Fleeks can, we put Fleeks in and he hit that ball. Like, all right, maybe Fleeks needs to play more. So, we found some things in the passing game that worked out for us. All right. So I always just feel like you hate these moments, but you can't waste these moments, right? You can't sit there and feel sorry for yourself and say, well, let's just move. Like, I can't say, hey, let's just get ready for Illinois. We have to get ready for Illinois, but we have to identify what happened and why, and fix it. So I didn't feel like our guys weren't responding. I think they were a good team, and I think our guys, if the word's hesitant from the beginning, maybe a little hesitant to go out there and some of the mistakes we made aren't the typical mistakes that we make, and that part was disappointing to be out there, and even that last drive, but those things are going to happen, man. You're going to have to battle back, so we'll learn from it.
There's a lot of really good. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL who don't necessarily throw it over the top. But when Heinrich gets 3 balls batted down today, kind of with that motion, is there anything you want to try to change about it or tweak as the season goes on?
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to change his motion, right? He kind of is who he is, and he does kind of throw from different arm slots. Early on in the game, they weren't really rushing as much as they were twisting because of the quarterback draw game. So the challenge for him was to keep climbing in the pocket. Now, one was batted by a second-level defender, right? So he was on an RPO, and the safety came over the top. And if the safety can bat the ball, you probably should have handed the ball off. Now, I say that without seeing the tape. But the ones that got batted down early, I think the big thing we wanted from Heinrich was to set the edge of the pocket, just get up in the pocket, find those windows. In the NFL, there's 5'10", 5'11" quarterbacks, and they throw through windows as opposed to over top of people. So, again, he hasn't played a lot of football, so he wanted to play through those moments, right? He got sacked today, protected the football, got sacked off the edge. Like, those things are hard to play through. So, wanted him even at the end. Like, I don't like when a team kicks our tail to call timeout on say. I don't like doing those types of things because to them the victor belongs to spoils. That being said, I also owed it to our quarterback. Like for Jalen Lloyd as a freshman to catch that in cut at the end of the game, that'll pay dividends down the line. So I think for Heinrich, we just want him to climb the pocket, find windows. We haven't been throwing the ball a ton with him, so now all of a sudden you pick it up and you throw it a bunch of times. There's going to be some things for us to work through. But I think the biggest thing with Heinrich is I want him to not try to be something he's not. I want him to be himself. I don't want him to start trying to be perfect. I want him to play the game.
What's the biggest improvement your program needs to make to close the gap on teams like Michigan?
I don't know. I can't answer that right now. I mean, they're the number 2 team in the country. They've been. We're not in that conversation right now. So to me, it's just holistic, right? Like I stood on the field at Baylor in 20. I stood on the field and forgive me for talking about another school, but I stood on the field at Baylor in 2017 as they were beating us 59-16 or something. They're throwing balls in the end zone and laughing at us. And I told Charlie Brewer and all his guys, I said, we'll come back here and we'll beat them. And 2 years, we'll beat them the next year. Then 2 years later, we beat them 45, whatever. So we're going to recruit. There are recruits there today. Right? Hopefully they say, like, wow, I can really come make a difference. We're going to develop. We're going to keep coaching these guys. We're going to coach these guys this week. They were in the same spot last year. They're 2-3 last year, right? And they battled. They won some games. Like we're going to have a chance to win games. So the biggest difference is I'm not going to get up here and make excuses. I'm not going to get up here and blame the players. We're going to recruit, coach, develop. We're going to learn from this game. This game sucked. Pardon my language. This game stunk. But at the same time, we play again Friday. So anyway, that's kind of the approach. It's a methodical process, one at a time, one step at a time. And again, I'll probably watch the tape and I'll see some things, right? I'll see some young players out there playing and say, man, he's going to be really good. And Tony will make the corrections on defense, and we'll keep coming along as an offensive line. And we'll get there.
What was Singleton's injury and also Liebentritt?
Yeah, Liebentritt came out of the game last game, hurt his elbow, so he'll be out for a couple weeks. And then I don't know what Deshaun's is. It was his knee. I mean, he got cracked from the side, and maybe his knee got stuck in the turf or something. I don't know, but he was in a lot of pain and was out. So I don't think that I don't think it was. I don't know that it's anything beyond. I don't think it's an ACL as of yet, but we'll see. But they're going to obviously do all the tests and all those things. And then obviously Luke was not available for us today. So Luke's our thoughts and prayers are with Luke. He was unfortunately taken to the hospital this morning from the hotel. So we're hoping that he'll be okay. We're expecting him to be okay. But we just erred with an abundance of caution for him. So
He was he was with the team during the game and everything though. He was here.
I didn't. Well, he might have been. I didn't see Luke. No, I was told he was at the hospital. Yeah. So obviously Luke was injured this week, and just so you guys know, I never lied to you. You guys asked me, was he going to be fine? I said, yeah, he's going to be fine. Then he just started to have some pain yesterday, and they said it was nothing, antibiotic, and the antibiotic didn't heal it. So they just wanted to rule out infections and MRSAs and all those things. So I don't have a knowledge now, but that was a complete and total surprise to me this morning. He was actually at breakfast. And then the doctors came to me, and I said, "Well, let's send him. Let's get him to the hospital. Last thing I would want was be for something worse to happen to him." Anybody else?
Matt, real quick, how do you keep the guys at least positive and flush this thing? Because you got a short week here, and I mean to get ready, you guys ready, or do you have to say anything? Do they know that?
Yeah, I'm not. But we shouldn't be real positive about that game. You know what I'm saying? It's an amazing tribute to the crowd that they stayed that long. I mean, I appreciate them very much. We should just learn from that. We should say, you know what? It's a really good team. They absolutely got after us. We couldn't respond. There's probably some good things in there. We should never accept that, though. We should never accept losing. We should never be like, it's okay. Well, it's Michigan. It's okay. No, we should never accept that at all. So they shouldn't be real positive. They should be. Everyone in Nebraska will find out about this team next Friday night. Right? We'll find out about it. We'll find out about me. We'll find out about them. We'll find out about all of us on Friday night. And that doesn't mean winning and losing. I mean, if Illinois is better than us, so be it. But I can tell from your guys' questions, there's a sort of a feeling of hey, did they really fight back a little bit, right? So, and again, I'm hesitant to say that till I see it. Right? It's always hard to tell from the sideline. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see on Friday night. How excited we look, how much we're flying around, what we look like. We'll see. So, yeah, I hope it bothers them. And we're in a day and age where sometimes everyone wants to be too cool for school. I hope it bothers them because it bothers me. I can tell you that much right now. That game bothered me a lot. But I don't want to minimize my credit for Michigan. That's a good football team. And so we'll try to get there. So, but I will say this. I love these players. They're great young men, and they all want to win. So there's no, hey, it's their fault. It's all of us. We're in it together. So we'll battle. But we'll find out who we are Friday night. So I hope everyone watches. Thanks.
Today was obviously not the kind of day you wanted, but what can your team learn from a game like this, just knowing you're probably playing the best team in the conference right now?
Yeah. I mean, we came out, they scored first drive, we had to bounce back from that, and then second play, something like that happens. How we bounce back from stuff like that is going to dictate how our season will go. I think we did a good job on the sideline. Everyone was locked in, wanting to keep rolling. And just some things that we have to fix in practice, just little miscues that set us back from it being 2nd and 5 to all of a sudden it's 2nd and 10. And then you can't run the ball effectively in those situations because you're set back so far. And so just stuff like that we got to fix.
What were they doing to limit what has been a really good rushing offense for you guys thus far?
I mean, there's some things, the edges were playing a little bit differently than Louisiana Tech, Northern Illinois had been playing. Took away, maybe some of the zone read stuff. But at the end of the day, like I said, like if it's 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, like you can't run the ball. So just little miscues, snaps. I have to catch the snap. That's between Ben and I. Like if we have to rep that 1,000 times this week, then that's what we'll do. But we can't put the ball on the ground like that. That's a wasted play. And we know how powerful of an offense we are when we can run the ball in, 3rd and manageable, 2nd and 5 or less. So.
You batted or kicked a few passes. Was there anything from your angle you could do different, or especially that second play, I guess, of the game?
Yeah, that's something that I'm going to work on this week. That's something that, like having Jeff and some of those guys on the sidelines that see that and are like, hey, maybe your arm angle was dropping a little bit on that one. You got to keep it up. And then also just that's with experience. Some of the last 2 games, there's been no hands in the air. Michigan, obviously, that's a really experienced D-line, really good D-line, and they're athletic. So credit to them for all those plays. But at the end of the day, I got to get the ball through somehow, whether that's stepping up, stepping sideways, but finding a passing lane.
I knew you've been running the option here the last couple of weeks. I mean, in high school, you were out of the shotgun throwing spread football all the time. So how comfortable did you actually feel maybe in the second quarter, in the second half, being able to be in the shotgun and just kind of throw it around?
Yeah. It was, I think that's somewhere where I do have a little bit of comfort. But at the end of the day, we need to be able to do both things. We need to be able to run the option. We need to be able to step back, and make some of those plays downfield to keep them honest from, bringing 8 guys in the box. So I think a good mixture of both is the key to that.
You had, of course, seen them on film and seen Big Ten teams up close from the sideline. What did their athleticism, their speed, especially up front on defense, how did that look different from your vantage point on the field today than what you had previously experienced?
Yeah. I think, honestly, today the pocket was one of the cleanest that we've had in the last 3 games. There's times back there where I was just sitting there and I was kind of getting a little anxious. That's on me. I got to trust my offensive line, trust that those guys are going to block because they are blocking. They gave me a lot of pocket today. And then also, trusting the fact that defenses they don't want to let me out of the pocket because, I've shown that I'm a threat on the edge. So just finding a good little window in there to settle up and find open receivers downfield.
Coach Rule said that you really challenged the team in that post-game locker room. What's your reaction to that as it relates to kind of moving forward and learning from this one?
Yeah, it's different. Obviously this is my first loss as a starting quarterback. I think moving forward, we've been on a high the last 2 weeks. I don't know if we've had it demoralizing as a loss as this one. But I think if we can learn from this, watch the tape, and I think really there's just little miscues along the way for the offense. We can't put the defense in those situations, going 3 and out. I think, someone said that we went 3 and out, 3 times in the first half or something, or somewhere around there. And we can't do that to them. They are a great defense. They've shown that, and I believe in those guys. but we have to put them in better situations as well.
On the 4th and 1 play, you like that call, and how do you think it went from your perspective?
That's on me. I can't do that. I have to put my head down, get 6 inches. Like that, that's one play. If I could have back any play in this game, that's the one I'd want back. Just because I feel like, I let my team down, let my offensive line. They blocked really well on that play. And I don't know. I wish I could have that one back.
Did you just think that you saw something over the top more than down low as you were coming up to the line, or what went through your?
I was just trying to get 6 inches, and that, I think if I would have just done what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks and just known that I'm a big, strong, fast quarterback who can get 6 inches by putting my head down. If I would have just done that, that would have been a conversion. So yeah, that one, I told the O-line, I told Anthony, that one, I have to execute that play.
Take one more.
Heinrich, there was one other specific time I wanted to look at. Third quarter, it was when they had the illegal shift, but it was an incomplete pass. You roll right, it looks like maybe the play was to go to the left. You come over to the sideline, and Coach Rule speaks with you for quite a while, and he's been talking about trying to get you to that level to where everybody's comfortable. Can you share anything about what he's telling you in that moment?
Yeah, I don't want to go into full detail about what Coach Rule talks about with me sometimes, but really what he's been trying to tell me for the last week is, these last 2 games, you've come out, I had 2 pretty decent games and led the guys pretty well. Don't start, trying to do too much. You need to go out there, have fun, execute the play. And so really, that's, he just shared some past experiences with other quarterbacks that, he's had at, Baylor and Temple. And, he's had some good ones. So learning some stuff from him is always great.
I feel like this is your offense, your team, after the overall experience of the way these last 3 games have gone?
I think this is our offense as an offense. Like this, it's a collective unit. It's the O-line's offense. It's my offense. It's whoever's in the game's offense. That's how we have to move as a pack. Obviously there's going to be guys out in front, and it might change week to week. But as the quarterback, if I'm starting that week, then I'm going to take command. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to try and push my teammates along.
Isaac, what surprised you, maybe disappointed you about your defense's execution today?
Exactly what you said. Myself is at the head of that. I didn't execute well enough, and that wasn't the defense that I know out there. That wasn't us. We did not play our game.
What did Michigan do that maybe took you out of your game, and what did you guys not do?
In the beginning, they were spreading us out, taking the DBs out of the run game. That really shouldn't surprise us. It's not the first time we've seen that, but we just got to execute.
Did you see much of anything on that first touchdown? Was your vantage point? It looked like he
I didn't do my
grabbed
job.
it over your back. Yeah.
No, it shouldn't have happened. I didn't do my job well enough.
In what way? What did you do different?
I got to stay in the post.
We'll find out on Friday night. So, talking about fight, I think, more than anything. What do you expect from this group, having worked 8 months with them and everything?
We got to come back ready to go. We can't sit around and pout about this game. You watch the film, you learn from it, and you go and you take it out on the next team you play.
Did you or the team
notice the fans emptying out, and how did that have an impact?
You know, at halftime, Coach Rule said it. It's about us. It doesn't matter what goes on in the crowd. It doesn't matter what goes on with the other team. It's about us. So I think everybody did the best they could and just played football without distractions.
Was there Rule kind of talked a little bit about maybe there was a little hesitancy, maybe not from you, but some of your teammates maybe in that for the first time. Did you sense that out there and the guys not just cutting loose and making the plays?
Yeah, after the first drive, I kind of felt it a little bit, and that's on me as a leader on the defense. I can't allow that, including with myself. So.
You hate these moments, but you can't waste these moments. I know you've talked about the execution and taking out the next team, but is there anything specifically when you look back at the film for Michigan that you hope that you can now use as an opportunity to learn for this defense and lead them on?
Yeah, definitely. There's always things to learn, and definitely at your lowest moments is when you learn the most about yourself. So I really just hope to get in this film room with the guys and take accountability for everything we did wrong in this game, and then just use it next week.
How much did not having Luke, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but how much did losing Luke right before the game and then Deshaun on the second play, he'd been in the game plan all week, how hard is that to adjust to?
Yeah, it's obviously hard, but like you said, we can't make excuses for that. It's next man up. Everybody rotates. We rotate every game, so it's always just the next man up. Thanks, guys.
What can you guys take from a game like this as far as how far this team might have to go to play with a team like Michigan?
I think Michigan kind of shows us what we can become, and I think as of today, their program is, they're 8 years into all together with Coach Haarberg, and I think under the next few years with Coach Rule, I think that's what he can turn this place into, and it just kind of shows what it's going to take, and obviously, we can't have penalties, we can't miss assignments, we all can't be try to win the game with one play. We just got to stick to with each other and do our job.
Did you think you were closer than that to them coming before today?
Of course, every week our mentality is we're 1-0, and that's our goal, is to go 1-0 every week. And Michigan's just a really good team. I have a lot of respect for them, but and it doesn't matter who you put in front of us, and we're going to play our asses off for whoever's in front of us. So,
did their run game? How did it impact just the physicality that they run with their offensive line and their backs? How did that? Did it do anything to take you guys out of the way you have defended the run this year?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just a lot of missed assignments, guys not being in the right gap. I'm there included. Sometimes I'm not in my gap, or I'm not supposed to gap and a half and make the play. So I think it just comes down to technique, and like I said, guys are kind of let the moment get too big for us at some points in the game. I think at halftime, after we came out, I think we had put together a pretty solid few drives and kind of showed that we can do this. We just, 11 guys got to do their job.
It's a short week, you know, a big game before the bye. What's your feel on how this team's gonna respond?
Coach Rule's mentality is what's next. Tomorrow we come in, we're going to watch the film, we're going to recover, we're going to lift, and we're going to practice for Illinois. We got to learn quickly how we did. Can't be sensitive about what we put on tape because, I mean, we did it. So we just got to take accountability and move on and make sure we fix it for this week.
He says that everybody in Nebraska will find out about this team next Friday night, about him and about the players. What do you want them to find out?
Just to show what type of men we are. I mean, we can't come out here and get our butts beat like that and then just lie on the ground. I don't think that's what Nebraska is. I think we go and, you know, we just get back up. And like I said, I mean, that's why I love the what's next mentality, because you just if you get knocked back down, what's next? Get back up and you know, start the process over again. I love Coach Rule's process for us every week that he puts us through, because it's the same thing. Whether we win or lose, we're going to stick to it.
Anything else for Ty? All right, thank you, Ty. Thank you, guys.